answer it, Steve. Let it ring.
We gotta get out of here.
Andre de Toth was one of the great characters that I ever met in the movie business. He was born in Hungary. He made a lot of movies in Europe before he came to the United States. He had but one eye, and he had lost that eye in an anti-Nazi demonstration prior to the war in Vienna. He was an exuberant, cantankerous, kind of noisy, lovable guy.
The director is the one ultimately puts it on the screen. He writes with a different tool than a pen or a typewriter. You have more influence on the viewer because it helps the imagination of those who may haven't got any.
I love Andre de Toth, and I met him several times before he died. He was a lovely man. Great career, great storyteller, a good narrative technician, clean, beautiful done, competent.
Andre de Toth was a great raconteur. When I interviewed him about his noir films for Film Noir Reader 3, he told me about how Sterling Hayden got cast in Crime Wave. Andre wanted him. Jack Warner wanted Humphrey Bogart and Ava Gardner. And after a heated discussion with Jack Warner in his office, Warner finally threw his hands up and said, "Go ahead, Tex, cut your own throat, but you'll have to shoot it in 15 days. And Andre said, "I was happy. I won. I got to use Sterling Hayden, and I made the movie in 14 days.
Andre de Toth's personality just shoots through every frame of that movie. He had a toughness about him from the very opening. This sordid little two-bit crime at the gas station, which is handled with brutal efficiency by de Toth and by the guys acting the parts.
Crime Wave is great, too, because it's hard-bitten. It's a great, snapping, crackle story. Sterling Hayden as a police detective is amazingly tough. He's 6'5". You see this guy, and he's got that jaw, and he's got that tough as nails.
Each time a different car, every job a soft touch. Chicken feed. Eating money.
And then Gene Nelson, I've never seen this guy, but he's such a discovery. He was wonderful in the role. And Phyllis Kirk, actually, I met her when I was young. She used to be in the Lives of the Bengal Lancers with Warren Stevens and Phil Carey. It was one of my favorite shows as a kid.
I think there's like a cinema verite quality to it, a realism. The actors all seem natural, but less is more. What I like about de Toth is that very little needs to be said to know exactly what's going on, and it's gripping.
What really I think was remarkable, Andre, and the way he got performances out of actors was not by telling them what he wanted, but by putting them in the emotion. I think what Andre liked to do with actors was create this small frustration that forced them to refocus and give him a different, added dimension to the character.
I love to smoke cigarettes, but the doctors say I can't have them. So what do? I chew toothpicks.
Taking away the standard cop prop of a cigarette and giving him something different. It's not only appealing to the audience because it's different. For the actor, it puts him farther inside that character's head and gives Andre more of the emotional truth that he wanted.
Police Department 22.
I want to report a hold-up in the shooting of an officer.
Just a minute, please.
One of the things that's really typical of noir is it liked to take us and show us how the forces of the law, using the latest technology, how it worked. And by implication, saying, look, the police are so efficient that a criminal really doesn't stand a chance up against this technologically hip army of law enforcement guys.
What I loved about Crime Wave is like the characters are really more symbols of aspects of society. For example, the police. The police have a system, a bunch of people working together to stay on top of the underworld. Then you have the underworld, which is also a system. They represent the evil, the dark side, but yet they have a code of honor. Then you have the civilians caught in between, and that's what our story's about.
Andre was really a stickler for location. He didn't care whether people had seen it many times.
Two suspects are white, male Americans, number 1, approximately 40 years.
Like a lot of film noir shot around L.A., Crime Wave is out there on the streets. Real buildings, real gas stations. And what I think that does with the real emotions that Andre was looking for in the characters is give you the most powerful aspect of film noir.
To show de Toth's idea of life as it's being lived, the idea of being in the back seat, the camera's in the back seat, in that opening shot from the very beginning of the movie, you are part of that action.
Hiya.
What would you rather see? A cliffhanger with all this morality going on, which is not being preachy. It's actually being done in a very kind of non-preachy way, in a very entertaining way, but it's very effective. Or a cliffhanger today, which is like amusement ride. It's cotton candy. The whole film noir period is that there's something's being said. De Toth is a hell of a director and still influences a lot of modern directors today.
What people like Scorsese or Bertrand Tavernier admire in Andre's work is its emotional truth. What Andre wanted from actors was not acting. He wanted a performance that was pure character and always true.
Call the police now. Don't wait.
Lace is made good with me. I have faith in him.
Once a crook, always a crook.